Okay, so you are here on the first ever edition of Optional Sidequest, where
first ever podcast we've ever recorded.
First ever podcast we've ever recorded.
There's a lot of firsts.
Yes, like my first time.
We won't get into that.
We're not getting into that. But yeah, first edition of Optional Sidequest, where we will be talking about movies, music, TV, games, and all
anything nerdy. We'll just go through,
and all the other stuff you use to try and get away from your life.
Yeah, basically recording conversations we've had for years,
and
for other people to listen to,
and hopefully enjoy.
Yeah, hopefully so.
So yeah, today we will be talking about remakes and remasters.
Yeah, so focus more on games
today
for this one. I mean, what we're going to do? Try and do it every week? Do you think?
Yeah,
we can.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Once a week.
Yeah,
new episode will come out
and go from there.
Yeah.
So yeah, you wanted to talk about games that we're currently playing.
I think that's a good way to start. So what have you been playing, Alec?
I have been playing Singularity, Vanquish, Jack X, Batman Arkham Origins, and...
Wait, all together or one at a time, or do you just alternate?
I just alternate, and Grim Fandango.
You piss me off so much.
Yes.
Play new games!
My PS4 is currently being used to play a PS2 game and a PC game from 1998.
People say PS4 is not backwards compatible.
Yes.
So what are you enjoying playing most at the moment?
I'm quite enjoying Singularity, if nothing else, because it's got time travel aspects to it, and I'm always a sucker for that sort of thing.
Singularity's PS3 game, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, PS3, 360 game.
So what are you playing that on PlayStation now, or?
No, I bought it for my PS3 from CEX for like a
£1. Oh, right, okay. Oh, so you got your PS3 plugged in as well?
Yeah. So I'm just like a breaker. I did buy quite a few, like it. I bought Metal Gear Rising as well, because that was £2. I was like,
never played that actually.
Yeah, it was quite good.
Yeah.
I need to actually play that, but I've got so many games on the go that I need to complete some first before I
complete the games and then get new games.
Yeah. I will get around to playing I did buy the Uncharted trilogy on PS4, so that's something I need to play.
That's something.
And I need to play Uncharted 4 and the other one.
Lost Legacy.
Lost
Legacy was so good.
The spin-off.
Yeah, it was so good.
You want to know something really funny though?
Yeah.
Naughty Dog have done a new IP. Uncharted is the only IP that they've kept on two different platforms, because they did Crash Bandicoot on PlayStation.
And Jack and Daxter PS2.
Yeah. And Uncharted is the only one that's gone on PS3 and PS4.
Well, and Last of Us as well.
Yeah. Well, what was really funny though is they did Crash Bandicoot 1, 2 and 3. And then they did Crash Team Racing. And on PS2 they did Jack 1, 2 and 3. And then they did Jack X the racing.
No Uncharted racing.
No Uncharted racing game. Although that would have been interesting. It's like Nathan Drake drifting through a
the thing is that, would you want Naughty Dog to do another Jack and Daxter game? Or do you feel like they should just move on and just carry on growing as a studio?
Well, they did. There was a new Jack and Daxter game that came out at the end of the
There was a PSP game, there wasn't there?
Yeah, it was the Lost something.
It was the Lost Precursor or something like that.
Yeah, but it wasn't done by them. But I don't know. I mean, I guess I'd rather that if they were to go back to it, it wasn't forced. If that makes sense. Yeah, not that you're going back to it because, I mean, Last of Us 2's coming out. Still need to play that. I do have it though. I do have it on again.
You need to play The Last of Us.
I do have.
I'm not going to podcast with you. I just play The Last of Us.
Alright. What have you been playing?
So I've recently gone back to Ni no Kuni 2.
What's that?
That is a JRPG. So basically, I love my JRPGs. They're my favourite genre. So I'm going to go back. Just because I'm in a bit of a lull at the moment, gaming wise. Waiting for Spider-Man to come out. That's September 7th. We've also got Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Red Dead Redemption 2 in October. So many games coming out in September, October that you're not going to play.
No, I will play. Just about 3 years after everybody else.
So Ni no Kuni 2, really, really fantastic game. If you don't know, it's like a sort of a cartoony art style. You've seen me sort of play it when you came in. So I'm just trying to get platinum. because I love my platinum trophies.
He's a platinum hunter.
Yeah.
He's
52 platinum so far. How many have you got?
7.
So I'm just playing my way through that, doing a lot of farming, as usual.
I came around to his and he basically just like had left the game on because he gets money for just standing around.
Yeah, to platinum JRPGs.
That's how committed he is.
Yeah, you've just got to rubber band the controllers and then just watch those trophies come through. so I'm just carrying on through with that, and then hopefully that'll keep me going until September.
Nice.
I've got my Nintendo Switch to play as well. Tried to download the demo for Valkyria Chronicles 4, another JRPG that I'm hoping to play.
You played Bayonetta 2 yet?
No. I wanted to get the first Bayonetta.
Yeah.
To play it on Nintendo Switch,
well,
but it was like something like £50. I could buy a Wii U and Bayonetta for less than £50.
So I mean, if you wanted to, you could probably just break out the PS3 and just play it.
Exactly.
Exactly. You could buy a PS3 version. For
I could buy. Yeah, exactly. So as much as I want to play it on my Switch, I can't justify.
Yeah.
Like I want to play Doom as well on my Switch, but it's £50. I could get it on PS4 for less than a tenner.
I got mine for a tenner, brand new.
Yeah.
Special edition version with like patches and a map and everything.
Exactly. And did you see the gameplay for Doom Eternal though?
Nah.
It looks unbelievable.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean that's another set of games in it. I need to play the new Doom. I downloaded like.
I thought you started playing Doom.
I did, but then I stopped.
Really? Why?
I don't know. It's like when
because you were texting me, you were like, "Oh man,
Doom." Awesome. It's like I was like breaking phases and snapping necks. And
yeah.
And I've got Doom 3 BFG edition to play as well, which has Doom 1, Doom 2, and Doom 3 as well. Apparently,
I don't know if those games age very well.
No, I think the first two have aged well because they're just basically sort of like dumb. You just go in and shoot the thing until they're dead. Yeah. So basically, I mean, it's aged. I think the first two have aged as well as Mario. I think.
Are those the ones that came out on PC, like that sort of 2D, 3D art style? Yeah.
The third one, everybody seems to have a problem with because apparently the third one's more survival horror.
Yeah.
So I don't know. If
the developers tried to departure,
so I've
mature the game.
I've read that it's a good game if you think of it as just a plain old survival horror game,
but not a Doom game,
but a terrible Doom game.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I'm not so sort of like entrenched in the Doom lore
and history.
Yeah. So.
But games do that though, because the new Assassin's Creeds that you probably haven't played.
I've only played the first one.
Because they're now basically they're not Assassin's Creed games anymore. They are RPGs.
Yeah, because I mean I heard that basically once they got to like the fourth one.
They were going through.
They kind of stopped.
They were going through, and they were the same game. They had the same formula every time. I really enjoyed them
because I heard the second one was arguably the best one because it's the best one. Like they refined the gameplay.
Yeah, and Ezio is the most recognisable character,
and the like assassinations were a lot better as well. And then they did like 2 more games with him.
2 was amazing.
Third one's apparently a bit.
Yeah, 3 is not very good.
And the fourth one is basically a Pirates of the Caribbean game.
The fourth one is the best pirate game you've ever played.
It's like, basically, it's like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, and then there was Unity that came out on PS4. That was the French Revolution.
Yeah,
which was very good.
Which one was one that was set in London?
So then after that it was Syndicate, which was set in London, which was again very good. And then they eventually stopped.
Did they have over-the-top Cockney accent?
They did. It was really good actually because we were playing the game and because obviously we spent a lot of time in London.
Yeah.
And Shannon, my girlfriend, obviously lives in London, and she was like,
I
recognise that place. And I was like, I really need to find this church to get collectible. And she's like, right, if you go down this road, you should find it. So I did, and it was there.
Well,
the worlds are really well realised.
That's quite good, to be fair. That is like historically accurate.
It really is.
And at least it's not like the bit in Team America where like the Eiffel Tower falls on the because they're like nowhere close to each other.
Yeah, exactly. But no, definitely worth playing. And then the new one, it's dialogue choices, character choice. You can choose between male or female.
It's literally.
It's an RPG. It's Mass Effect, but set in Assassin's Creed.
I want them to go. I want Ubisoft to go back and make another Prince of Persia game. I don't care if it's like Sands of Time.
I need that so much.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, that kind of is a good segue because they're going to talk about remasters and remakes and all that jazz.
Yeah, sort of top it of the show sort of thing.
So yeah, I mean, I've said to you that I think remasters and remakes are kind of good, but at the same time they're kind of how they're implicated is kind of bad. Like, they're not inherently bad themselves, but when you're remaking a game from like the PS3 onto the PS4, there's not much in it.
No, it's already in HD on PS3.
I mean, like, I remember somebody did I watched a video where somebody did a side-by-side comparison of The Last of Us, and there's probably like I think he mentioned like there was I can't even remember if he said there was like any discernible difference. I mean, I did watch another one where somebody compared the first Uncharted to the HD remake, and obviously since Uncharted 1 came out at the beginning of the PS3 era, it was kind of slightly different, but you could see there was a difference, but there wasn't like, unless you're a graphics whore, you're not really going to be that fussed.
No, it's like you to notice a difference, you'd really need a big TV, trying it like 4K upscaled.
Yeah.
You might see shadows and lighting's a little bit better, but the game experience from PS3 to PS4 isn't really that much better. I mean, frame rate might be a little bit better, resolution, but that's something for hardcore people to really know.
I think frame rate is probably the only difference.
That's the main thing.
I will admit that I did go out and buy DMC Devil May Cry for my PS4, even though I already had it.
I mean, that's why these games come out, because people like us buy them.
I mean, to be fair though, I bought it because like they had changed the gameplay where they actually added a like aiming reticle for the guns.
Yeah,
and I barely used the guns on my PS3 version, and also because they added the DLC and stuff, so it was kind of like, although I did buy the DLC for the PS3 one, so it's kind of a moot point. But they did. I did get the weapon skins.
So
yeah, I mean, because
it's amazing though that how many games will sell again just for cosmetic changes. Like, that's how Fortnite makes its money.
Yeah, I mean the framework was the only difference that I could see, and maybe it's because I'm just not used to 60 frames per second, but it's just weird looking.
They say 60 frames. You don't know how much of a difference it is until you're playing with it.
Yeah, I mean it was smoother, but it was just weird at the same time. Again, I think it's probably just because I'm not.
You're just not used to it. You're not a PC nerd.
Yeah, I mean, I use my PC occasionally.
For
Steam. Steam, where I bought like some old games. But yeah, like
so to go back to Prince of Persia then.
Yeah, one of the games that I wish they'd sort of remake in HD, would be Prince of Persia, and not
the original Prince of Persia.
The OG Prince of Persia.
2D side scroller, platformer,
1989 version. I mean,
hard as.
I mean, I know they technically did a version that they did called Prince of Persia Classic, where they're basically just Sands of Time sort of like models and stuff. But I think they could probably do a bit more with it. Like they could. Would you not want it just re-released with a nice coat of paint on PS4, or would you want? Because I mean,
or do you want some fundamental changes, graphic changes?
I mean, doing an OG sort of like remake, like a HD remake, would probably be fun. But at the same time, they could probably do like a 3D, like an actual like 3D platformer, sort of like akin to Sands of Time, but with the original storyline and stuff.
Okay.
Like they could probably add a bit more stuff, but I don't know if you'd call that I think that'd be more of
like a reboot.
Remake, but with the same story.
Straight remaster.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically sort of like the same story and stuff. And I mean, I guess if they just did it as a sort of like, not like a full blown title, but just do it as a sort of like PSN thing, they wouldn't have to.
Yeah, just a downloadable game. £10, £15.
Yeah, that'd be alright.
Easy platinum.
Check out.
When people talk about the Prince of Persia remasters, obviously we got the remastered trilogy, which was awesome. Yeah. I really liked Sands of Time. Obviously,
the weird thing is, if you go back and play Two Thrones, Two
Thrones is too hard. I was just about to say it's too hard.
No, there's this bit on Two Thrones, like on the PS2 version, you've got the little like yellow glowy bits on his arm.
Yeah,
that isn't on the PS3 version.
Really?
Yeah. I thought it was a bit weird. I thought it was just because on my disc, but then I decided to buy it from the store.
Yeah.
It was on sale, so I didn't lose too much money. And I tried it again, and it was still the same thing. I was like, that sucks.
Yeah, that's a strange one, but I mean, with the Prince of Persia games, everyone talks about those trilogy and then the cel-shaded more rhythm game that came out on the 360 PS3, if you remember that.
Oh, the 2008 one.
It was the one that came out sort of in line with the Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
Oh wait, you mean the Forgotten Sands one?
Not the Forgotten Sands one. It was just called Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
It's like a water.
No, Forgotten Sands came out for the movie, and the cell shaded one was the 2008 one.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Where you only had to fight one enemy at a time.
Yeah, people always refer to that one, but the Forgotten Sands one is completely forgotten about. When people are saying, "Oh, the last Prince of Persia game," like because I listened to a few podcasts and they're like, "For E3, we want a new Prince of Persia game." Yeah. The last one we got was the cel shaded one. No, it wasn't. It was the Forgotten Sands and it was amazing, and I got platinum in it.
He just wants to talk about his talent. I remember you lending me that, and it was all right. Like,
I think you were a bit colder on it than I was, but I really liked it.
I enjoyed, like, I'm a sucker for platformers, so like basically if a game's got platforming in it, I'll go.
And that time rewind mechanic's so good for platforming.
Yeah, I mean,
and pausing time, and it's just so good.
I mean, I do remember there was a bit where you had to basically like freeze like the water so you can make like thingies to jump off of.
Yeah, and then like the droplets of water, you could have like a pole to swing across.
Yeah, and that was fun. But yeah, I mean, like, because platformers seem to be like a thing now, and everybody's doing their sort of.
Well, they're in a renaissance.
Yeah,
aren't they?
Everybody's like doing their 2D, 3D thing with like Shovel Knight and Cuphead and all that sort of stuff. So
yeah,
it's not like a HD remake of the original Prince of Persia game wouldn't be too bad. What other game?
What else do you want?
Legacy of Kain. Like,
who developed Legacy of Kain?
This is.
Was it Sucker Punch? Was it?
No. This is quite interesting. The first game, which was like Blood Rain Legacy of Kain, was developed by Circle Knights, who, I think their only other game of note was that Two Human game that came out like 10 years ago, which bankrupted them.
Yeah.
So
I remember that game when it came out. Actually, I didn't buy it.
But yeah, they created the first one, and that game, I haven't played that game. Well, actually, no, I tell a lie. I got an emulator of that, and I tried playing it, and it was just kind of very weird. The gameplay is sort of like very early 3D combat sort of thing. Like, it's sort of like top-down sort of 3D. It's basically like top-down 3D.
Yeah.
And you basically sort of like jab and stuff, and it was just kind of weird. So I think that if they could do like a version of that, but sort of like 3D action, like God of War style, that would work.
Yeah.
And the Soul Reaver games that came after were...
See, I'm confusing Legacy of Kain with Soul Reaver. Because I remember Soul Reaver had that sort of demon on the cover.
Yeah, Raphael.
Yeah, it looked really cool.
And the Soul Reaver games were developed by Crystal Dynamics.
You sure?
Yeah. I was just trying to remember the name. And they did Soul Reaver 1 and 2 and Legacy of Kain Defiance, which was the last game. Although there was a Blood Omen 2 as well, but that was developed by somebody else. But they could probably do like a
amalgamate all the games into just...
Yeah, they could do a collection. I'm sure they could do a collection of that, but there's probably some sort of... there might be some legalities. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
But they could definitely do it. They could definitely like remake Blood Omen, and if they don't want to do like a full conversion for Soul Reaver 1 and 2 and Defiance and stuff, they could just
re-release.
Do a HD re-release, because the gameplay still holds up. I mean, they might need to tweak the controls a bit, because I downloaded them off Steam, and no, seriously, to move the camera, you have to use L2 and R2.
That's such old mechanics.
Proper old school, isn't it?
So I can't. This is the thing that all remakes and remasters need to do. They need to update the control scheme, because Shadow of the Colossus. Do you remember Shadow of the Colossus on PS2?
Yeah.
Well, it's regarded as one of the best games ever made. It came out HD remaster, on PS3 with Eco. Played Eco, really good, just a puzzle game.
Yeah.
Shadow of the Colossus, the controls were fucking balls. They were so bad. And the same control schemes was in The Last Guardian, because the same developer, and it was the most infuriating thing I've ever played. And then
could you not change the controls in the options?
No, you can't. And then in February, the Shadow of the Colossus remaster came out. So it's a ground up remake of Shadow of the Colossus with PS4 graphics, an updated control scheme, and I haven't got around to playing it yet, but I'm hoping
that they've changed it.
That they've changed it enough so that I don't want to kill myself, basically.
Well, what's really like, if you go on like YouTube and like you look at the cutscenes for Legacy of Kain and stuff, everyone's like, oh, they should do a re-release or remaster or something, and everyone's like, yeah, but were they popular enough to like warrant it?
Well, this is the thing, isn't it?
Well,
are they going to find an audience?
Well, you can basically just sell them to. I think you could sell them to the God of War audience, as basically sort of like God of War but with vampires. And demons. And also you can say that it came from the mind of the person from Amy Hennig who did.
She's the head writer on Uncharted.
Yeah. You know, these are the games that the lady who made Uncharted did first.
I mean, they're a legacy sort of game, aren't they?
Yeah.
There's a lot of input that's gone into them. People who've made those games have gone on to make.
Yeah. And
so if you're a historian, those are good games to play.
And also, and the storyline is like awesome, and since God of War is like making the rounds on its story mode and the gameplay's like awesome as well.
Yeah.
Just do it like that. I mean, if they're not I'm not a big fan of digital only stuff, but if they're not comfortable with having a physical copy, they can just sort of like.
Yeah, I think physical copies are sort of on the decline for shorter games as well.
Yeah. But yeah. What else would I like? Onimusha. Now.
Yes.
Onimusha.
Just leave it there. Get Jean Reno back,
and just have him like.
Apparently, that's why the Onimusha games haven't come back though, because there's a whole licensing image rights thing in place with Jean Reno, which is mean Onimusha 3 can't really come out in some sort of collection.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's
because I know like
it's a shame.
I can't remember his name, but you know the samurai guy.
I know. Yeah, the guy.
He's based on an actor as well.
Yeah, no, him as well.
Yeah, and also there's the guy from the. I mean, I've only played 3, but I was a sad bastard and watched the.
You watched the whole playthrough.
I watched the whole playthrough of one.
You are a single player game developer's nightmare.
Well, this was like at the tail end of this was like when the PS3 just.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, you can't get those games.
Trying to find those games and like.
Yeah, you can't. So your best option is to just watch the playthrough.
So
remind me then, what are those games like? Because they're not as hard as Ninja Gaiden.
No, it's kind of it's just you basically have to fight
3D adventure puzzle.
Yeah, puzzle 3D adventure game where you basically fight sort of like demons and stuff.
Yeah.
The third one, I do remember the samurai guy goes into the future, into France, and Jean Reno. No. And Jean Reno ends up in like ancient Japan, and so basically the samurai guy teams up with Jean Reno's girlfriend, who's a cop, and they have to do stuff across the 2 timelines to basically like defeat the main bad guy at the end of the game. But I remember really enjoying
it. Spoiler alert, just in case.
Spoiler alert, defeat bad guy, but yeah, I remember I do remember what was weird was there was no jumping in that game. But like you had all your crazy combos and stuff anyway, and
not many games really did add jumping because that's just a whole mechanic.
It was like you had your crazy combos and your different weapons and your magic and all that. So that was again those types of games you could sell to, I guess, the God of War audience. Yeah, because I mean, there's always going to be.
I mean, the old God of War audience, the new one's now been spoiled with one of the best games ever made, which you need to play.
I want to buy the God of War Collection 2.
Just a sidebar onto God of War. The original trilogy of God of War, Kratos is the worst character. In one of the games, he starts by killing everyone, and Zeus is like, mate, stop killing people, or I'm going to take your powers away. And then Kratos is like, fuck you, Zeus, I want to kill people anyway. Yeah. And then Zeus takes his powers away, and then God of War's like, you betrayed me! A whole rampage.
Yeah, that's God of War 2. He's like, he's now the God, spoiler alert, he's now the God of War. And he basically goes to like Rhodes to basically like annihilate people, and Athena's like, why are you doing this? Stop. And then she basically brings the Colossus of Rhodes to life.
He's just a fucking dick.
And it's like It's like, I'm going to destroy the Colossus of Rhodes. And it's like, I don't have enough powers. And it's like, here, use this. And it's basically like he drains all of his powers into the sword. Kind of convenient to basically, at the start of the game, that you have all your powers from the last game. And it's like, oh no, we have to contrive a way to sort of like, lose all your powers. And it's like, put all your powers into this weapon so you can just defeat the giant, like, statue. But yeah, and that one's... the one where Zeus is like, well, you're kind of going crazy, so I'm going to stab you in the chest, and then he gets all angry. Oh, you stabbed me in the chest.
So, yeah, angry Kratos is angry as usual. but then compare that to the new game,
where he's mellowed out, apparently.
He's mellowed out, he's a fully realised character, there's dynamic with his son, other story beats that I wouldn't spoil.
I keep hearing people call it Dad of Boy.
Dad of War.
Dad of Boy. It's like, boy.
But... yeah, no, fantastic game. Definitely should play it.
Another one that I'm actually surprised that they haven't done is the original Metal Gear Solid. Like doing a...
Oh, Metal Gear?
No. Well, as in the first PS1 one.
So which games came out on the Metal Gear Solid PS3 trilogy, like the HD trilogy?
2, 3 and some spin-off one.
Oh, so it was Sons of Liberty... Peace Walker
and Peace Walker was like
that was a spin-off one on PSP.
And Snake Eater
right, okay.
One was
those were PS2 games though, weren't they? So they just haven't done the PS1 version.
Yeah, because I mean if you go back and watch the graphics for the PS1 one, like Snake has no face, he's basically
apparently
there's a block.
Apparently there was a sort of a puzzle in the first Metal Gear game where the solution was on the game box and you had to... like no one could figure it out, and then eventually people started realising that to get to solve this puzzle, you've got to look at the box of the game.
I know there was a puzzle where you basically had to take the controller out and put it in the second port.
That might have been that as well,
because basically like
that's just amazing.
Yeah,
no one would ever think to do that.
Yeah, because there was some boss that apparently like he was like he
was controlling.
He basically like knew what you were going to do like before you did it.
I would never ever figure that out.
So basically, putting the controller in the second port would mean that he couldn't figure it out, which was. But yeah, I think a HD remake of.
I think that'd be a good idea. Would you want Konami to do it though? Because Konami, no one likes Konami at the moment. Do you know this stuff with Konami?
Well, to quote Jim Sterling, fuck Konami. And because Konami
they fuck themselves to Metal Gear Survive.
Because Konami is the worst. But I mean, to be fair, I think the only reason that
go on.
Probably the only reason that hasn't happened because since Hideo Kojima was basically the brains behind the entire series, and since they fired him, there's probably some legality in regards to stuff that he's already. I mean,
they own the IP, though. If they wanted to, they could reuse.
They own the IP, but at the same time, he might have some creative sway on what they do with it.
Possibly. I mean, there's surely going to be a whole team of people that did work with Kojima still at Konami, unless they've all joined him at Kojima Productions. But
they probably. I mean, it's.
But they probably love Metal Gear and they want to make a Metal Gear game.
Yeah.
I mean, then Konami's too busy releasing Metal Gear Survive, which no one wanted, which I don't think anyone really played.
And apparently they...
and the pinball machine.
Yeah, apparently they just know, like, pinball. Like, what? But yeah, you'd think... If they got their ass together, you'd think a HD remake of Metal Gear Solid would...
Just a remake, a ground-up remake of the first Metal Gear Solid would be absolutely amazing. I would play it.
It would make a stupid amount of money as well. I mean, considering the amount of hype for Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
And that's basically from the ground up as well. Yeah. Because, I mean, I know some people like the original HD remake of Resident Evil. But at the same time, it's still got the OG controls. And
it is, but I think you can remove tank controls, if I remember right. But Resident Evil 2 looks...
Yeah, Resident Evil 2 is basically like the gameplay.
That's a new game.
That's
just a new game.
It's gameplay from 4, 5 and 6 with the story of 2.
Yeah.
And since everybody loves the gameplay from 4, 5 and 6, well, 4 and
5 and 6 is the same gameplay.
It's the same game,
but it's going to be a lot more survivalist, horror like 4
is. And the amount of people who are hyped for that and who will probably no doubt buy it will make Capcom a nice.
I mean, Capcom, they're doing good things at the moment. Monster Hunter World is...
I'm hyped for Devil May Cry 5.
Devil May Cry 5 looks amazing. Monster Hunter World is sold like close to 10 million copies already. And then Resident Evil 2.
I mean... Another series that I think they should redo, which is probably going to happen now, is Time Splitters. And because recently Time Splitters has been, the IP's been bought by Koch Media, who are owned by THQ Nordic.
Koch.
I don't know, it's German. But yeah, THQ Nordic's been basically acquiring like a whole ton of IPs. Like they've got the Red Faction.
Basically everything that THQ owned before they went defunct. THQ Nordic. They're keeping the THQ bit. Because it's a recognisable name, so okay, fine.
And they're basically buying all the IPs and doing stuff with it. So,
which is good, but THQ went out of business with those IPs.
No, I think THQ went out of business because they were just terrible management.
Terrible management, but I mean, I don't know. I don't have the figures, but did Darksiders sell great?
They must have sold enough.
Did Red Faction sell great? Yeah, but then
I think Red Faction Armageddon.
Red Faction was quite a big game on PS2.
Because Red Faction Guerrilla was the third one, and that was the one that's been remastered, as it were. But I think the one after that was one that didn't do quite well.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's a thing, isn't it? They make enough money to make the next game, but then if the next game doesn't perform, then they've just shot themselves in the foot.
But no, because I mean, the IP acquisition of Time Splitters yesterday, I randomly went on Facebook and there were so many people talking about it.
Yeah. I think Time Splitters is the one that has a really big audience, and you could.
The fact that there was a group of fans who were basically they were doing that Time Splitters Rewind thing.
Yeah.
And the fact that was being done by fans and stuff kind of shows that there's an audience for.
I think there is. I think there's room in the market right now for a team-based shooter. Because we've got Overwatch. No. You don't agree?
No. Well, not team-based shooter.
But it's just like a first-person shooter, old style, like GoldenEye back in the day.
I mean, they'll probably add a sort of online component.
They will,
but I mean, keeping the story. The thing I used to like about Time Splitters was the story where you go from like Old West to like sci-fi Blade Runner style, and then go back to like modern times or the 60s or something.
So I mean, it's got such a distinctive style, and no game is like Time Splitters.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was. I mean,
which is why I would like to see it, even though fuck Time Splitters, it's really hard.
I mean, if they were to do a new game in that regard, I think what they should do is be able to, before you get have it mission based, but before you go on each mission, you get to like load up on what you've picked up.
Yeah.
So basically, say you're like 6 missions in, and you fancy using like your old West revolver in like Neo Tokyo or something. I think that would be hilarious. Like you just like shooting all these people who have.
I think it'd be so good.
Who have like laser guns with a revolver, and you're just like.
I think if there were 3 Time Splitters games, weren't there? And then 4 was rumoured forever and never came out. So re-release the first 3, let's play through them. I mean, and then bring.
Well, I mean, I think the first one was basically didn't really have a story. It was basically like get from A to B and then from B to C.
This is just a proof of concept type game. But 3 was the one that really perfected their formula.
2 and 3 were definitely a lot more loved, and I mean 2 had a decent like story mode, but 3 definitely had the more story driven aspect. So I mean, I'm not too fussed about 1. I guess throwing in 1 would be cool, I guess.
Yeah.
But 2 and 3 are definitely where it's at, because everybody remembers.
Those are the games.
Everybody remembers 2 and 3. If you remember 1, then you're a proper OG. But that would be a fun one to do. Another one that I'm actually surprised that they haven't brought back is again, considering the 2D renaissance, is Beautiful Joe, because
Beautiful Joe is one that I don't know. I don't know that game.
It is basically a game where you have a guy who's basically a massive fan of movies, and he goes to movies all the time, and his girlfriend gets captured from they're at the movies, and his girlfriend gets captured, and he has to go into the movie to save her, and he basically gets this power to basically get a Power Ranger outfit with a cape, and he basically just punches and kicks his way out.
I don't know why, when I think of Beautiful Joe, I'm thinking of Earthworm Jim.
It's basically that sort of game.
Confused. Yeah,
it's basically that sort of game where it's basically like sort of like 2D, 3D
zany sort of, 2D platformer.
Yeah, 2D/3D looking thing where you basically have to go forward and basically punch stuff, and you get like you do enough damage, you get like your superpowers, and you get to do the OG like annihilate everyone on the screen sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, I'm surprised that they haven't like done a sort of like that came out on the PS2 and the GameCube, so they could do they could tweak it and polish it up a bit.
Yeah.
And then just, I mean, again, if they're not comfortable with doing like full blown physical release, just put it on the store. I'm sure people would buy it.
Yeah.
What other ones are there?
I think we are running out of time. But I've got one that I want to say. But you go on, give us one more, and then I'll give you one of mine.
Well, I had 3 more to go, but I guess the one that
we can always do a part 2.
Yeah, the one that I think everybody would probably want to see is probably Killer 7. Again,
was that what was Killer 7?
Killer 7 was that game done by Suda51, aka the guy who did Lollipop Chainsaw.
What was it? What was the game? It wasn't a Super Smash Brothers type game, was it?
Killer 7 is
I'm thinking of Killer Queen Black for that.
Killer 7, it's not very well known, but the people who know it know what it's like. It's basically like a first-person shooter, on-rails first-person shooter, in a way, where you get to choose between 7 different people who are all the same person with different abilities, and you basically sort of shoot these suicide demon things. They basically run at you and they basically blow up.
So that sounds like the perfect VR game, basically.
I mean, they probably could do a VR thing, because I mean
that's tailor made for VR. Anything on rails is in VR.
I didn't complete it, but I played a little bit of it, and it's really confusing because the actual person that you play as is basically a wheelchair bound assassin guy who has a rocket launcher, and then there's he's got different personalities, and one of them is basically a suit wearing standard assassin kind of guy who's really cool. Then you have the chick who they all have special abilities. I think if I remember correctly, the chick slices her wrists and blood spurts. Blood spurts on bad guys and kills them or something.
What? And then, death by suicide.
And then you've got the Mexican wrestler one who is introduced by somebody shoots at him and he basically headbutts the bullet away. I mean, again, I didn't complete the game, but it was weird enough that it stuck in my head, and I wanted.
I mean, if it's Suda51 as well, it's
going to be.
What was that game where your gun is a dick?
Oh, Shadows of the Damned. I love it. Taste of my big border. Yeah, and but yeah, that's another one that would be good. And since that's stylized as well, it's I think that would be a lot easier to do up as well.
Yeah. Stylized art styles that are less realistic graphic. I mean, that's like Zelda the Wind Waker, cel shaded games. They generally age a lot better.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I like realistic graphics, I guess, but at the same time,
for older games being made newer though, I think more cartoony cel shaded graphics might look better. But in terms of real graphics, what about Splinter Cell?
I bought
that is overdue, man.
I bought the trilogy off on the PS3 recently, but that would be a good one. I got stuck. I mean, because
I always got stuck on PS2 games. But it was what was it? Splinter Cell, and then there was
Pandora Tomorrow and Chaos
Theory, and then there were the Xbox games like Blacklist and some other ones.
I mean, where
we need a Splinter Cell game, man.
It's just Michael Ironside, man. It's
Michael Ironside 70 years old.
I don't know.
As long as he can still voice Sam Fisher, I'm fine. Well, even if he's in a hospital bed.
didn't they bring
Kiefer Sutherland was in Metal Gear. Sorry.
Didn't they bring back Sam Fisher for that Ghost Recon DLC or something?
They did, but he wasn't voiced by Michael Ironside, and there was
wasn't it?
No, there was a bit of furor behind it.
Oh,
but then Michael Ironside said that he
would be up for.
He sort of supported the voice actor who did it.
Yeah,
but he's still open to doing it. But he's an old man. I didn't realise how old he was. He's 70,000 years old. 70 to 80 years old.
I mean, if we're just talking in terms of voices, he still sounds badass.
I know. I'm trying to think. He's a strong.
I'm trying to think of other people who just badass just because of their voice. And I mean, Michael Ironside,
Kevin Conroy, voice of Batman.
Kevin. I remember actually finding a picture of Kevin Conroy. I was like, wow.
Does he look like Batman? Does he look like Bruce Wayne?
He looks more like Alfred to me.
No, he doesn't. That's spoiling the whole image.
Who else is there? Another badass. I mean, Patrick Stewart's pretty badass. I think it's make it so.
Yeah, I mean, Nolan North badass, or he's just more the charming everyman.
Well, yeah, he voices Nathan Drake, isn't he?
Or,
so it's basically
Troy Baker though.
I'm trying to find...
Troy Baker, Joel from The Last of Us, pretty much every other game that's ever came out.
The guy who did Kratos in the first 3 games was like pretty badass at it.
He's the same voice actor in the new one as well, I believe.
Is it?
I think so.
Apparently
the guy who voices Kratos is big and strong like Kratos.
Oh, the guy who voiced Solid Snake, who wasn't Keith Sutherland, was pretty good.
Yeah, I can't remember that. I only played Metal Gear 5. Phantom Pain.
Ironically, the one with Keith Sutherland.
Yeah.
But yeah, from what I remember, he sounded like really cool and gravelly as well. But I mean, the only other 2 that I've got on my list are Blood Rain.
Isn't there like a fan made Blood Rain game coming out?
I know there's a 2D sort of
platform. Yeah.
But I remember playing the first one where you basically it's like setting like World War II.
It's like Germany. A Metroidvania.
Yeah, it's like World War II. The PS2 one was like it was set like World War II Germany, and since you're like half vampire, you basically go around like killing Nazis and like sucking their blood and stuff.
Yeah.
And the only other game I can think of is Ghost Hunter, which probably won't get done because it's like a very...
I haven't even heard of Ghost Hunter. I consider myself a pretty knowledged...
I mean, I basically only threw that on there because I have fond memories of it, because Ghost Hunter is basically... I guess the easiest way to describe it would be Ghostbusters meets Resident Evil.
Okay.
Because you basically play as a guy called Lazarus Jones, biblical reference.
Yes. Does he come back to life?
Won't spoil it. But what's funny is my sisters always used to say how he looked like Johnny Knoxville.
All right.
Okay. He literally looks like a game version of Johnny Knoxville. And you basically you're a cop, and you basically go to a school which has been abandoned because supposedly one of the teachers had basically killed a whole load of students and stuff. And you end up going to the basement where you basically see this giant machine, and you press the on button, and you basically like release all the ghosts in it. So it's basically like the same sort of thing as Ghostbusters. And you end up suiting up. You basically talk to the AI guy who says, "Oh, you need to go out and catch all the stuff," which is basically you have to weaken the ghost by basically shooting it. And you've got this like disc thing, which is basically sort of like the box from Ghostbusters, except it's a disc, and you just throw it, and you basically like capture the ghost by throwing it at them and like weakening them.
What was it on? PS1?
PS2.
I've never played that game.
Yeah, because if I did complete it, but I only remember the first sort of like part was like set in like the south, where you basically have to capture all the ghosts, and you have to save this girl for these sort of like redneck characters, because they were the one who they were chasing you at the start. Like one of them was like a basically alligator guy, and who would basically like chainsaw you to death. And there's the crazy old lady who lives in the big house, and you have to do all these like trippy like things where you go into the house and then you end up like upside down and inside out and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a fun, and the gameplay was kind of over the shoulder, but not like it was like you could see the full model sort of thing. So it was basically kind of like, I guess you could say it's more like
like Diablo maybe.
I guess it was more like how the old Tomb Raiders were like.
Oh yeah.
More like you can basically run around, but you could also and shoot randomly, but you could also aim, which would then go into sort of like the over the shoulder sort of thing. But that was quite fun. I mean, again, that game probably won't like get done, but it's a nice game that I remember fondly, even if I only remember the first half. And the bad guy, I do remember the bad guy was basically like an old knight who was voiced by Dumbledore. Well, Dumbledore number 2, should I say, just to avoid confusion. But yeah, that's all the ones I've got.
So what we'll have to do is maybe follow up next week with my list.
Your list.
And then we'll see how we go. And then hopefully over time the podcast will be...
Yeah.
We'll get better at it the more we do it as well.
Get more people to listen to us.
Yeah, and hopefully more people will listen.
And then hopefully we'll talk about...
we'll talk about some movies, some TV.
I do want to hear your thought. I mean, in terms of music, I really want him to like...
Music. Music's going to be
hilarious.
That's really interesting.
Because he's basically like a pop pop whore.
Yeah,
I basically listen to like obscure random
emo.
stuff. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I am currently listening to Attila and Pizza.
We'll get into that. we'll dig deeper into that.
But we'll leave that for another time. So we will go and we'll
go and play some games and come back.
Yeah, I will probably try and complete one of those games that I mentioned at the start. So yeah.
Okay. Well, speak soon.
Bye.
Bye.